Okay everyone, so this is going to be a repotting video of a couple of Phalaenopsis that I've had in the original containers in the original sphagnum moss with them in water baths, and they were salvaged from the house, from the greenhouse, but they are in desperate need of a repot. And I think I'm probably just going to put this one back in the same plastic pot in the water bath just to keep it stable. So you can see it is in the original plastic pot with sphagnum moss. You can see the roots are hydrated, but they're at the bottom, and probably the moss you can see is really bad. But you can see that one green root that is trying to go back up to where there's air, away from that moisture. This is the name, hopefully you can see it. It is a fantastic, I believe, evergreen, or maybe it's not a fantastic, but so what I do is I squeeze it from the bottom and then poke it through the hole, and it just pops right out the top gently. And so there you can see the roots, and I'm just gonna tease that old sphagnum moss away and hopefully save as many of the roots as I can that are good. Gently getting all of that sphagnum away. Thanks for watching again and taking the time. There are so many of these videos out there in the YouTube space. So yeah, I'm just gently getting as much of the sphagnum out. Careful to preserve the roots. Roots are what's important. It's what's in the pot, not what's above the pot or above the soil. So yeah, it does have some nice roots, you can see. So I'm just going to place it back into that little plastic cup and do my best. It'll sit slightly higher than the top of the pot. And this is the media that I'm using, Green Barn Foul Mix. And you can see what it has. Keeps the plant moist, but yet it has leca and big chunks of bark and some perlite, which adds drainage. And so I'm just tapping in the mixture around the roots. Being careful to distribute it evenly around and not to bury the roots too firmly in the pot. Making sure the media is tapped in. And not pressing too hard with my finger to firm it in. And that's pretty much the finished job. You can see it is above the level of the rim of the cup. The spike's still good. Make sure the tag is in, and I'll set that aside. While I go grab the next plant, the next Phalaenopsis. And there it is. The name, if I can turn it over and show it to you, there you go. Phal Jeff Young, Yang Yang Lover, times KS Zebra. And again, like I said before, just gently make sure that the stake is out, and make sure that the top of the plant is away from you, and then just, like I said, push through the bottom, and it will pop right out, as it has been in a water bath. And again, like the other, gently tease away whatever roots. Now this one is a lot more in need, desperate of a repot. The media is very decomposed and acidic. You can just see the roots that are on top are white. The ones inside of the media just look like they are desiccated, more so, just soggy and brown. There is a few in there that are not so bad, that are more or less keeping the plant alive. But the rest seem to be desiccated or on their way out. So this was perhaps the best, not best, but the right time to get it out of the media, because I am really rescuing this plant. And if you hadn't noticed, it is developing at the end of the spike. So hopefully this repot will give it a little boost and help that spike stay viable. It is a Phalaenopsis, as is the other, that you don't cut the spike as long as it's green, because it can continue to elongate at the end and bloom. And yes, it is very composty. So I'm going to try to get a little bit more of the media out of this one than I did the other. While also taking care to not destroy any roots in the process that are still viable and alive. So, because this plant is very top heavy, and the leaves are very firm still, so it does appear that it is getting good moisture, despite or it is uptaking moisture, I should say, despite the state of the roots. So there, and I'm going to put it in that nice holy clay pot. That's a ceramic. I'm going to put some lava in the base, like such, and set that in, the roots in, so that it's going to dangle over to the side to prevent water from collecting in the crowns. Any water that gets in the crown will fall over to the leaf. And to keep it in place, I'm going to put a little clip there so that it stays to where the position that I want it to be in, which is so that the leaves are kind of pendant over the edge of the pot. And I'm just going to fill it in with that Phalaenopsis mix around the roots gently, tapping it in to get the media down into the roots and into the pot, and turning the pot around to the other side gently to get the other side evenly potted. And that looks about right. You can see that the clip is holding the plant in place so that the front part of the plant is a little bit hanging over the edge so that the water will all drip down off of the leaves and not stay out in the crown. I am going to stick that spike up, which will also help keep the plant in its position while it is acclimating itself. I will give these plants a nice drink and then just try to keep them moist. And hopefully we will see some blooms. And there we have it, folks. Both plants repotted, both Phalaenopsis. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned a little bit from me today. And enjoy your orchids, folks.